We start as we are buried deep into the mountains that are situated in a certain country, and in this certain country there is a certain town, a quiet little town, but unbeknownst to this quiet little town that it holds a massive secret. A secret that is of some of this little town is going to become very loud and very clear to them. 15 years earlier, we start right into the middle of a battle that is right now happening in the middle of a war, we are right now thrown into the middle of this battle, this battle is taking place in the middle of the Second Gulf War, we are right now witnessing a joint military operation that is being conducted by the American and British forces, the American and British Special Forces, Navy SEALs, SEAL Team 6, and the 22nd Special Air Service. The SAs, that is to be precise, that are right in the middle of their operation. A operation that is right now attempting to seize and control and save a particular number of people, we are right now sent straight into the middle of this battle. SEAL Team 6. If we don't push forward soon, we are going to get pinned down, and there will be no way that we are going to be able to get to those civilians, and we are sure as fuck are going to have no chances of getting to those missile silos, and let's face it, we're not here for those hostages anyway. We're here for those missile silos, because if what is about to happen, we are going to have more than a hostage situation on our hands. We are going to have a whole blowing up our country situation on our hands. That is ace. Don't be overdramatic. Those are just rumors about those particular missiles being nuclear warheads intended to be fired straight at your country. They're probably just SEAL Team 6 missile expert. Nope, they're nukes, alright. I've just confirmed it on their systems, and yep, they're heading straight for Washington, New York, and Los Angeles. Yeah, that's about as cliche as you can get, but yeah, that's how any smart person would do it. Take out the biggest ones first, and yeah, going after the White House probably wouldn't be a bad idea. SEAL Team 6. Yeah, well, if we don't push forward and get there soon, they're going to enact out exactly that and completely fuck our country right up the ass, and gunshots come right across their heads. This is good. They're coming straight for us, and they're no longer just holding their ground defending those missiles. They think they're winning, and let them think so and let them come straight to us. SEAL Team 6, what are you saying? Let them think that last horde of bullets and RPGs killed us. Alright, but we're all fucking dead if this goes wrong. SEAL Team 6 and the SAS play dead. The enemy continues to fire their endless horde of bullets and rockets straight at them, but after a while, they soon start to realize that there is no combat that is being engaged against them. Taliban. I think we got them, those American Bold Eagles and British Bulldogs. Navy SEALs and SAs, those stupid Taliban morons seriously did not just say that. Go over there and check it out. What fuck you, man, I ain't just going over there, are you forgetting who they are? They're the best special forces teams in the entire world, just going over there will get all of us killed. Not if they're already dead. Who says they're dead? I am from all of the endless bullets and rockets that we have just fired at them. And they didn't fire back. Those Yankee Brits are dead. Yeah, but they could be just playing dead, this could be a trick. I don't give a fuck. Get over there and make sure they are dead. The Taliban soldier grabs his leader. Yeah, if you're sending me over there, we're all going over there if this is a trick. It is a trick. The Navy SEALs and the SAS have just flanked and snuck up behind and up on them when they were all bickering amongst themselves. Oh shit. The Navy SEALs and the SAS open fire on the Taliban and start to cut down the Taliban one by one, one of the members of the Taliban immediately opens his jacket, revealing a vest. Shit. One of the members of SEAL Team 6 immediately opens fire and manages to hit the Taliban member straight between the eyes and kills him instantly he smashes straight onto the ground another member of the Taliban tries to get to the vest and trigger the detonator to blow them up and kill them all one of the members of the SAS takes the butt of his rifle and smashes it straight into his mouth and knocks out all of his front teeth. The Navy SEALs and the SAS proceed into killing the rest of the Taliban soldiers except for one, the one who has just had his teeth busted out. Aw, you motherfucker, what did you do that for? Because you're the biggest, stupidest motherfucker of them all. The Taliban soldier. What are you talking about? Are you forgetting where we are? We're in the middle of the fucking nuclear missile silos complex. Do you have any idea what you would have done if you would have triggered that vest? It wouldn't have just blown us up, it would have triggered those missile silos and probably would have taken half of your country out in the process. Navy SEAL missile expert. No, they wouldn't have. Those missiles are designed to withstand that shit. Yeah, well, you would have just blown us all up instead. Which is what you were trying to do anyway. The Taliban member just laughs. Just shut up, you're coming with us anyway, and taking us to that dipshit of a leader of yours. One of the members of SEAL Team 6 grabs the Taliban soldier they drag him straight to the missile silo's control room right now. The Taliban's leader is trying to force the missile silo codes straight out of the colonel who is in charge of the entire complex and has those codes. The Taliban leader takes one of the colonel's soldiers and puts him right in front of the colonel and is threatening to cut his head off if he doesn't give him those codes to the soldier. Shouts out, just let him do it. I'd gladly let that piece of shit cut my head off than let him get his hands on those codes for him to fire all of those warheads straight at our country and the Taliban leader cuts his head off. Jesus Christ, I mean holy Allah. I thought that guy would never shut up. Anyway, Colonel Sanders, or I can't remember what the fuck your name is, but give me those codes. Colonel? Nope, you fucked it up because I liked that one and you just killed him, and I'm definitely not giving them to you now because while you were listening to him and you cutting his head off and being evil and all that SEAL Team 6 and those SAS bulldogs snuck in here. The fucking what now? Yeah, they're right behind you. The Taliban leader spins around and sees that the Navy SEALs and the SAS are right behind him. The rest of the Taliban soldiers are just about to engage upon the SAS and the Navy SEALs as to the Taliban leader screams at the top of his voice, no stop. The leader of SEAL Team 6. Yes, that's right. You know who this is, who we have got right with us. The one that we left alive, and the one that we left alive is your son, isn't it? Taliban leader's son. Just do it anyway, father. Kill those American. The leader of SEAL Team 6 cracks him right across the mouth. Taliban leader, don't you strike my son. That's my job. I'll do a lot more than that with what teeth that he has left. I'll do a lot more than that. I'll take a page straight out of your book and cut your son's head off right in front of you right now, just like you did to that soldier. But instead of just doing it to prove a point, I'll be doing it because I'm enjoying it. The Taliban's leader looks directly into the Navy SEAL's eyes and sees that he is dead serious and that he is just as evil as he is. Without hesitating, the Taliban's leader takes his AK-47 and immediately fires and kills the rest of his soldiers that numbers in 5. His son looks in absolute horror as to he cannot believe what his father has just done. As to he screams out, "What have you done? You have betrayed us. And that one was my best friend." Taliban leader. Never liked him anyway, he kept hitting on your sister. So anyway, you let my son go and let us leave, and we can just let this all pass by like it never even happened in the first place. The leader of SEAL Team 6. Yes, but you are going to do one thing first. And, what is that? You are going to take us to where the rest of you are, and we are going to wipe them off of the fucking map. Deal. His son shouts out in pure rage. You bastard father, you have betrayed all of us. Taliban leader. I'm surprised you can still talk with practically no teeth left, but not today. But one day you will come to understand what a parent will do for their child, and that is anything, but I have one non-negotiable condition. And what is that? Asylum in the United States. His son is screaming and shouting in pure rage. Deal. But I will have to authorize it with my highest chains of command. As to the colonel says, just give me a moment, I can do that. Well, I can't, but I know someone who can. The leader of SEAL Team 6. And would that be the president? Yeah. That's the one. The colonel picks up the nuclear launch phone and calls the president. U.S. President. All right, you Taliban cretins. I ain't giving you shit. No codes, no nothing. You get me, you. It's all right, sir. Problem has been dealt with. The Navy SEALs and the SAS have sorted all of it out. Oh, good. I knew it was a good idea to team you Navy SEALs up with that SAS. They're not all dead, are they? No, sir, they're fine. We're all fine. Mission accomplished. Oh, really? That's a shame. I'm still gonna have to pay them their fee. If they were dead, I would have got this done for free. Oh shit, never mind. That was another mercenary team I employed for something else. They didn't hear that, did they? Yes, they did. But we only got this mission completed for one very specific reason. And what is that? We are going to have to cut a deal with someone. And who would that be? The leader of the Taliban, because he has just killed the rest of his men, and we right now have his son. And in exchange for killing his men and stopping a nuclear disaster from happening, he is wanting to cut a deal with you. And what deal would that be? Full asylum in the United States. Oh, really? Is that all? I thought he was going to ask for $10 million or something, and then asylum. Okay, this guy's pretty cheap. Well, okay then. I'll get Homeland Security to set it all up. Taliban leader. Could I have actually asked for $10 million? Yes, but it's too late now. You're doing this shit for free. And what is it that you're all doing again? Stopping our country from being blown the fuck up. Oh yeah, right, well done on doing that, and good luck with whatever it is that you are doing, and try not to get yourselves blown up in the process. They like to do things like that. Yes, sir, and you are welcome. SEAL Team 6 out. SEAL Team 6 cuts the transmission. The leader of SEAL Team 6. Well, you heard the man, you've got a deal, but that deal only goes into effect when you have taken us to where the rest of you are, and we have wiped out the rest of your little faction of the Taliban. Taliban leader. Yeah, I know when you crazy Navy SEAL SAS assholes have wiped them right off of the fucking map. Yeah, that's hilarious coming from a crazy bitch that likes to cut people's heads off and blow them up. Anyway, you ragtag bitch, let's go. The Navy SEALs and the SAS take and drag the Taliban's leader and his son to where the rest of the Taliban faction group are situated. We arrive to where we have just arrived, to where the rest of the Taliban faction group is situated as to immediately the Taliban leaders. Sun tries to scream out and warn the entire Taliban compound that the Navy SEALs and the SAs are there as too. Immediately, the leader of the Navy SEALs strikes the Taliban's leader's son with the butt of his gun right in the back of his head and knocks him out cold. As to the Taliban's leader looks at him in pure rage, as to say, "You should not have done that." "Oh, just relax, he'll be fine probably. Anyway, shut up and get into your role and do just as we have rehearsed." "Yeah, remember we just knock on the front door and tell them to just let us the fuck in." "Well, yeah, when you say it like that, yeah, that is a totally shit plan." One of the members of the SAs. "No, wait, we do not have to knock on the front door. We've been into these sort of compounds before, and they always have underground tunnel systems. And we know where we have to go. Straight into the upper far right of that compound to where the main compound's office is, to where their real leader is, not just the leader of that group we have just wiped out. The Taliban leader? You mean I just wiped out, but yes, you are right, the real leader is in that office. And if we can get to her, we can make the rest of the compound surrender, and that's it, job done." The leader of SEAL Team 6. "It's never that simple, but your leader is a her. I thought you. We're all about women being beneath you and all that shit." "Yeah, well, even we can be progressive." "Yeah, I seriously doubt that one of the members of the SAS team says." The leader of SEAL Team 6. "Yeah, well, we're not progressing right now, just standing here and doing nothing. Let's get going." The leader of the Taliban. "You're going to be progressing nowhere because they are not going to fall for the same trick twice." "Well, they're not going to fall for the same trick for the 5th time. The last 4 times you have used the underground systems and snuck in there right beneath them and fucked them straight up the ass. I think they finally learned to seal up those tunnel systems and stop themselves from being fucked up the ass anyway. I thought you Taliban liked getting fucked up the ass anyway. I'll fuck you up the ass if you don't shut up, so we're going to have to go in through the front door." SAS member. "And how exactly are we going to do that? They'd recognize us straight away." "Not if you're all in the back of one of the trucks. Wait here." The Taliban leader starts to make his way towards one of the Taliban members who is watching and guarding the trucks. SAS member. "Just remember, we've got your son. Don't make us kill him." "Yeah, no, just shut the fuck up and wait." The Taliban leader arrives at the trucks. Truck guard. "Where is everybody else? We thought you would have blown up America by now." "No, it was just the biggest cities in it, you dipshit anyway. Shut up. It is time for me to kill you now, because I have just killed the rest of your Cretan brothers. That's why they're not here, by the way." The Taliban guard bursts out laughing. "Holy shit, I knew you were crazy, but I didn't know you could do stand-up comedy." He can't because he is not joking. It is the Navy SEALs and SAS, and they have just now snuck up to where they are. Taliban guard? Those aren't our guys? Yeah, no shit, genius. One of the SAS members fires off his suppressed MP5 and puts a short controlled burst of 3 rounds straight into the Taliban guard's face and drops him to the floor, dead instantly. Taliban leader. "You piece of shit, I was just going to render him unconscious." "Yeah, well, I just rendered him unconscious permanently. Anyway, get into that truck and drive us into that compound, and remember, your son is in the back of that truck with us." "Yeah, you piece of shit, I remember." The Taliban leader gets into the back of the truck and starts to drive the truck into the compound. The truck arrives at the checkpoint security gate. As to the truck is immediately greeted by his fellow men. "So it all went well then? You blew up America then? How many times do I have to tell you we were blowing up a part of it, you know, the biggest cities, so we can roll in and take over the joint and turn that country into Sharia law too?" "Oh yeah, right, so did you do that then?" "No, we didn't, but I did manage to kill the rest of our brothers, and that wasn't an easy task, believe me. Actually, I'm lying. Yes, it was." "What?" The SAS team fires off a couple of short controlled bursts into the Taliban's chests and kills them instantly. Taliban leader. "Yeah, I'm not going to ask if we're knocking them out anymore, you're all crazy sons of bitches." "Yeah, well, we learnt from the best, you crazy bitches." The SAs hide the bodies and the truck makes its way into the compound. As to the truck has just about made its way into the compound as to the Navy SEALs. And the SAS start to see something that they did not expect to see. They see that there are bodies that are hanging upside down that have no skin on them. SAS and the Navy SEALs. Okay, you Taliban bitches have watched too many of those Predator movies, and you crazy Taliban motherfuckers are taking a page straight out of the Predator's books and are skinning people alive as a form of torture or something. Taliban leader. "Well, you should know the Predator doesn't skin people alive. He skins you after he has killed you, and they're not skinning people to torture them. Then why are they hanging upside down with no skin on them?" "For the real reason why we are so terrifying. You think you know who we are, and you think you know how terrifying we are, but you have no idea how terrifying that is. You have only just scratched the surface of what that is. And what exactly the fuck do you mean by that?" As to the truck, is unexpectedly ambushed and attacked by the Taliban compound's members, surprising the SAS and the Navy SEALs. As to one of the members of the SAS grabs the Taliban's leader's son and puts a knife directly up to the son's throat and says, "One more step closer, and your son is finished." As to the Taliban's leader says, "Go ahead, kill him. I'm the father of 5, I've got spares." The Taliban make their way onto the trucks as to they get right up to the Taliban's leader's son and rips him away from the SAS member, not caring that if he slits the son's throat or not, as to the SAS member does not slit the son's throat, and the Taliban members take him anyway, as the Taliban members disarm and take away all of the Navy SEALs and SAS's weapons and strike them all in the back of their heads and knock them all out completely cold. 10 minutes later, all of the Navy SEALs and the SAS soldiers have just regained their consciousnesses as to at their complete shock that they did not expect to see what they are seeing, and even for the SAS and the Navy SEALs that this is too much for them as to that they try to look away as to the Taliban members grab their heads and force them to watch as to right now that the SAS and the Navy SEALs are being forced to watch the entire of the Taliban tribe conducting and enacting themselves in an act of cannibalism as to that the Navy SEALs and the SAs quickly realize as to that is why there was bodies hanging upside down with no skin on them. They're not torturing people, they're eating people, as to the Taliban's leader walks straight up to them and starts to say, "Well, now you know what's up with all of the predator shit. Leader of SEAL Team 6. And that's not all that we know. We know that is your leader right now because we recognize her mugshot from the files that were given to us during the briefing just before we were sent out, and we recognize her. Picture from those files, but we only thought she was a member, not the leader. But I guess she is going to be the leader no longer as to you have just killed her, and I'm guessing she is going to be the Midnight's Feast." Taliban leader: "Yes, but you are just as surprised as me right now as to none of you are startled or fazed by this. Oh, except for in the beginning when you kept looking away. ASAs and Navy SEALs. That was just the smell. We can't stand the smell, but yes, we have met and dealt with monsters like you before. But we do have a question for you. Why?" A ton of reasons, really, but for 2 main reasons. The first one is to get rid of the evidence, and what better way is there? To get rid of evidence by eating it, I'll just say one of you pricks killed her while I was eating her and eating your pricks. SEAL Team leader, you've been watching too much of that Game of Thrones, but you said that there was a second reason. What is it? Survival. Pure survival instinct. Since this war has happened, and all of the death and carnage that has come from all of it, you and your American dogs have cut off all of our supplies and means to gain any of our means to those resources, and let's just say you gave us no choice. It was either that or die, thank God. I mean, Allah, you didn't manage to cut off our water supplies as well. We'd all be drinking our piss at this point, but you did manage to cut off all of our food supplies, and here we are, Silence of the Lambs, bitches. But I do appreciate the idea when you said that. They have all been skinned alive as to, we have never done that yet, we've just been eating them, but there's a first time for everything, and what better way to start with SAS and Navy SEAL bitches? The Taliban members start to approach themselves towards the SAS and Navy SEALs members, intending to skin them alive and cook and eat them. As to the Navy SEALs leader says, "Well, that is what you think you are going to do." Taliban leader: "What do you mean?" "Well, let's just say who can trust a Taliban leader, right? Both of our teams had a little discussion in the back of the truck while you were chin-wagging with your brothers, saying that if you do betray us as to which you just have, we're going to enact out the plan." The Taliban leader just smirks and laughs. "And what plan is that?" "The plan of fucking you straight up the ass." Jesus Christ. I mean, all of you lot are worser than us being obsessed with fucking people up the ass. I don't know who is more worser, us crazy cannibal bitches or you are as bandits. But what the fuck? Anyway, what plan is this that you are talking about? You're still wearing it, ain't you? Wearing what? The vest. Yes, but we've been too busy in strapping you up and eating people I haven't had chance to take it off yet, as to he checks his pocket and, to his complete shock that the detonator is not there, as to he looks at the Navy SEALs leader and sees that he has the detonator that is right in his hand. "Oh, you didn't notice? Well, sucks for you, I guess. I happen to have swiped this detonator thingy off of you while you were busy in killing all of your soldiers back at the missile silos complex, you know, when you were distracted at its most." "What the fuck, you slippery seal bitch," as to the Taliban's leader panics and tries to make a move towards him. The SAs and the Navy SEALs look as to they see that almost the entire compound, 50 Taliban members, are making a move straight towards them, and that they will not be able to take them all, not without being defeated and being skinned alive, and eaten. So the Navy SEALs leader looks at the rest of his team and the SAS to say, "Would you rather have a death that will be over in 2 seconds, or would you rather die screaming?" As to the Navy SEAls and SAS just look at him to say, "Do it." The Taliban leader tries to launch himself straight at the Navy SEALs leader to get the detonator off of him, as to the Navy SEALs leader closes his eyes and detonates it. The Taliban's leader screams out "No" as the vest goes off and explodes, taking out the Taliban leader and at least half of his men as the vest goes off and causes the massivest of explosions. About 5 minutes has just passed as to everyone is regaining their senses as to somehow the Navy SEALs leader has survived, but looks to and realizes that most of the Navy SEALs team and the SAS team have been taken out by the explosion, as to he sees that only One member of the SA's team is left, and 2 members of his team is left, as to the last member of the SA's. And the 3 members of the Navy SEALs team are still strapped into their restraints, and that the explosion has not managed to blast their restraints apart, as to they see that the rest of the Taliban members are approaching themselves straight towards them, as to the rest of the Navy SEALs and the SA's member is trying to get themselves out of their restraints but is unable to do so, as to they see to their absolute horror that the rest of the Taliban members are coming straight towards them with swords and blades intending to skin them alive, as to they can do nothing except for to just wait and for the unimaginable to happen, as to out of nowhere the Taliban members look and see that out of nowhere 2 Black Hawk helicopters come in and with their miniguns start to cut down the Taliban members, as to the Taliban members try to go after for their AK-47s and RPGs to fire upon the helicopters, but the Black Hawks react immediately and fire off all of their miniguns and a massive amount of rockets straight at the Taliban members and shreds them all in half and blows them all up instantly, as to one of the members of the Navy SEALs shouts out, how'd you like it being blown up for a change? Oh yeah, you all like being Hannibal Lecter anyway, as to he passes out, as to the 2 Black Hawk helicopters finish with cutting down and blowing up with the rest of the Taliban members, as to the 2 helicopters land right into the middle of the compound, as to immediately 2 teams of Delta Force soldiers burst themselves straight out of the helicopters, and as fast as they can, they start to make their ways through the compound and start into securing the compound by taking down and arresting the rest of the members that are in it. Black Hawk pilots. General wants a sitrep. Do you need any additional units? Delta Force squads. No, it's just families and women and children that are in here. They're not putting up a fight, but something weird is going on here, sir. What do you mean? Have you ever seen that movie Silence of the Lambs? Yes, but the question is who hasn't, but what about it? Well, it's happening right here, sir. Which part? Eating their skins or putting on their skins? Well, we don't know if they're putting on their skins, but they're definitely eating them, as to the rest of them. Holy shit, I was just kidding about that. Are you serious? Yes, sir, I am dead serious. We're seeing it right now before our very eyes. We've just arrested all of the women who were working and cooking in the kitchens. And that is what they were cooking, people. Can you identify who those people are? Yes, sir, mostly us, but most of them are either American or British soldiers that have been captured, and we now know what they have been doing with them. Chow time, bitches.